My name is Alice Gooding, and I'm an assistant professor of anthropology in the Department of Geography and Anthropology at Kennesaw State University. I received my master's in archaeological resource management at the University of Georgia and my PhD in biological anthropology at the University of Tennessee, which is home to the facility commonly known as the Body Farm. I serve as a forensic anthropologist for the state of Georgia at large, which means that in addition to my duties at KSU, I'm also actively practicing in the field. I started in this field because I was interested in human anatomy, but I didn't want to become a physician. When I started my studies, I realized that the skeleton was one of the most fascinating parts of the body, and we can learn so much from the study of its variation within and between individuals. With any science, biological anthropology has both basic and applied research questions. I've taken my interest in bones and developed two research trajectories. The first is looking at the effects of life on the skeleton. What are the aspects of life that affect the size and shape of your bones? For me, those most interesting factors are age and activity. And of course, we know that age and activity levels have a huge impact on things like bone density, but what about other aspects of bone health? It's becoming clearer and clearer that bone density is not a great indicator of skeletal health. And since the skeleton is a core organ system of your body, I'd say it's pretty important that we investigate just how and why bone changes with these intrinsic factors like age and extrinsic factors like activity. My second research trajectory is focused on testing ways in which the knowledge of the skeleton can be used to have an effective impact on helping to identify an individual after death. While this might seem a little bit of a left turn, I've always had a passion for taking knowledge out of the ivory tower and literally, in this case, putting it on the streets. If I can teach a medical legal professional like a law enforcement officer or coroner about the skeleton and empower their efforts during a death investigation, we all win. I've been fortunate enough to develop two labs at KSU. The Bone Biomechanics Lab is in the Social Sciences building and is home to a PQCT scanner, which is a smaller research-grade scanner, kind of like you've had in a hospital. The scanner allows us to capture images of bone, fat, and muscle in living participants. Right now, I have a team of 3 undergraduate and 1 graduate student who are helping me investigate the relationships between specific activities and bone shape in modern living people. Our current study examines the forearms of adult racket players between the ages of 40 and 99, so we can track how the swinging motion of a tennis or a squash racket changes the shape and quality of bone tissue in your forearm. I have a fantastic lab coordinator, Larry Cates, who's a KSU alumni and has developed great relationships with local racket clubs to get over 70 participants scanned in the last 9 months, which is just amazing. Every even year spring, I run an upper division course in bone biomechanics, and we always have 2 to 3 independent student projects coming out of that lab. My second lab is out at the KSU Field Station. Forensic Anthropology Lab, or FAFL, was the brainchild of Evelina Sterling and Phaedra Corso, who saw really that my research could have a direct and immediate impact on our communities. FAFL has 3 goals. The first, to educate the next generation of researchers in biological anthropology. Second, to train medical legal professionals in the search and recovery of human remains. And finally, to empirically test field protocols and technologies that are aimed at increasing the efficacy of me and my colleagues when we're actually out on the job. I have an amazing lab coordinator at FAFL, Michael McClung. Michael is actually an alumni of the KSU Anthropology Department and works professionally in forensic recovery. To date, we've had close to 15 students put in over 100 hours of labor to turn FAFL from an overgrown chicken house into a functioning body farm. Our space at the field station has a command center, an open field for empirical testing, a large burial area for training, and a wooded area for advanced education. Before COVID hit, we were ready to begin data collection on our first study, which is going to test how a low-grade technology could potentially be quite effective when trying to locate remains underneath the ground. Of course, in the immediate, our studies in bone biomechanics can be used to tease out how bone changes with age, which, as you can imagine, has a lot of clinical applications. But what I think is even cooler is that in the long term, we're contributing to the newer field of human athletic paleobiology. This field uses athletic sport as a model to understand human functional adaptation, the evolution of locomotion in our lineage, and subsistence strategies of past populations, or how people got their food and moved around. For just this reason, I have some fabulous colleagues in exercise science and statistics who will be collaborating with me on a multi-year study that captures a larger breadth of athletic activities in older adults. At the same time, we'll also be having an immediate impact with our work at FAFL. I'll be offering 5 courses through the College of Professional Education for forensic science teachers, law enforcement, and other medical legal professionals to get some hands-on experience. For most of these folks, resources of the caliber that KSU offers come few and far between, and they're certainly not in this field. Our mission is to connect with our partners in the community, break down some of the perceptions about research versus application in the field, and then provide them with the highest levels of training based on thoroughly tested and published methods. Because KSU students can join me in just about every step of the process of these 2 labs, I think we're ultimately serving them the best we can and ensuring that life after KSU is achievable and meaningful.